I'm Chandler Ainsley, and this is my crib.
Perfect.
So today we're going to be doing a bookshelf tour. I recently changed my setup as I talked about in my goals video of 2019. I'm not gonna be going through every individual book because I feel like that's hella boring, but I'm gonna be whipping out my podcast mic for this. And I'm gonna be showing you guys the books on my shelves that I've either read or I'm excited about, just little brief details, if you will. And you guys can see kind of what I have and a little bit about my reading tastes, I guess. I hope this is in some way entertaining to you guys. I'm excited to film it. Nugget's ready to go, I'm ready to go, and I'm gonna show you shelf by shelf my bookshelves. Yeah, let's get into it. Okay, clearly we're off to a really fun start. I have a lot of classics that my boyfriend got. They have gold leaf spines. I'm never actually going to be reading any classics, so the latter half of this shelf are not classics. If I'm being completely real with you, I haven't read any of these books, so that's fun. I'm really excited to read Blanca E. Roja by Anna Marie McLemore. I also have up here The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kirsten White, which honestly, after having read Anti-Darken, I'm not sure if I'm actually ever going to get to that one. I also have Calypso by David Sedaris. He is one of my favorite memoir type authors. I don't read a lot of nonfiction, but he is definitely one of my favorites. This is my second read shelf, and I have not read anything on this shelf. Actually, that's a lie. I've read about half of Crooked Kingdom. I gave up. I also have Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody, which I started reading at some point this year, and it was okay, so we're on the other side of my desk now, but this is definitely my favorite shelf, just visually. It's so fun with the red, the pink, and the yellow, and the orange. So I actually have read some books on this shelf for once in my goddamn life. First one on this shelf that I've read that I really enjoyed was Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. I absolutely love this book. It is a really fun romantic contemporary. I think it's still to this day one of my favorites by her. I know not everybody likes Rainbow Rowell, but I absolutely loved this book. And then surprisingly, we have the same author on the same shelf. Another book that I've read by her is Carry On. I absolutely love this book. I just feel like it's one that I'm going to reread over and over and over again, and I'm so excited that the sequel got moved up, so I can't wait to have that alongside this book. I have not read any of the rest of these books, unfortunately, on this shelf, but I hope to read A Quiet Kind of Thunder by Sarah Bernard soon. All I've heard basically is 5-star reviews for this one, so I'm really excited to get to it. And then also, I'm really excited to get to Kill the Boy Band. This one's really fun, even as a naked book. Most of these don't have anything fun on the cover. I'll show you guys if there's any cool books in the future on my shelves that have fun covers, but this is a naked book jacket, and it is bright pink and just a lot of fun, and I've heard really good things. Allie from Allie M Books seems to really like this, so I'm excited to give it a try. Okay, so this is the last of my top shelves, and I've actually read 2 whole books on this shelf. The first one that I've read is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I actually have the other 2 books on a different shelf. I just wanted to include this one over here because it's mostly yellow, so let's keep it with the yellow things. I absolutely loved this. I thought it was just a lot of fun. I liked the alternative format for that one, and I also like that this one also has a fun naked book. On the shelf also I have We Are the Ants, which I'm hoping to get to pretty soon. Beartown by Frederick Bachman, another one that I'm really excited to get to, and hopefully I'll get to that this month or in January because I feel like it's set in, I think, Canada or somewhere cold and snowy, so I really want to get to this one. It's about hockey and just seems pretty atmospheric, so excited about that. Now we're down a row and we are on shelf 5. This shelf has a lot of stuff that I have not read. Surprise, surprise. I actually started on Lethal White by Robert Galbraith, which is actually J.K. Rowling, if you were not familiar. This book is fucking fat, and I don't know if I'll finish it this year, if I'm being completely just honest with myself. I really enjoyed the series. I feel like the characterization is kind of unparalleled. I think it's better actually than J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, and that's honestly the reason why I continue to read these books, because I don't feel like the plots are that interesting, but that is the only book that I have read on the screen shelf. Okay, on to shelf 6. This is one where I've actually read a few books. So the first book that I've read already is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. I didn't expect to like this one as much as I did, but I haven't read a whole lot of young adult mysteries that I've really enjoyed and been surprised by. I would highly recommend it. Next book that I've read, obviously I've read City of Bones. That's why I bought the collector's edition. I'll get this one out because it is just that beautiful. If you haven't seen this already, it also has gold sprayed edges, so I'm just obsessed with it. The drawings and things on the inside of the cover, absolutely gorgeous. I don't think I'll ever be over the Mortal Instruments series. Fun fact, like it a million times better than the Infernal Devices, and I will die on this hill. Next book is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Capillaro. This is the first book in the Charlotte Holmes series, and I just love these fucking books. They're so fun. Just love these. I'm gonna move my little Edward Funko out of the way. I know I said I don't like Funkos, but I mean, he's just so fucking cute. This is a find that I'm just literally so excited about. It's the UK edition of Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor. It's from her series, Daughter of Smoke and Bone. And if you haven't read those books, you probably should. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I like them better than Strange the Dreamer, although I'm not completely done with Strange yet. But I found this on a whim at my local half-priced books, and I was just blown away by how gorgeous it is. Pages, I don't think I can really do justice to how lovely and thick these pages are, but I'm just so happy to have this book. So yet another shelf where I have read absolutely nothing on this. This one contains a lot of classics, so I guess it's not that much of a surprise that I haven't read these. The ones that are of note are The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. This one doesn't have a very pretty cover, but the rose gold spine with the blue is just absolutely stunning. So that was one that I'd like to get to soon. And then another one that everybody seems to rave about is Letters to the Lost by Bridget Kemmerer. This is one of Dylan the Reader's favorite books. Eventually, too, I would like to get to Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier because this is apparently one of those classics that's actually fun. So hopefully I'll get to that, too. So this is my 8th bookshelf. So I'm about halfway through Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. It's just typical Laini with the very flowery writing. I hope to finish this sometime this year. I've been reading it to my boyfriend, so I'm not sure if I want to like say fuck him and just read it on my own, but that's really the only book that I have read on this shelf. I'm hoping to get to First and Then by Emma Mills pretty soon here. I really like Emma Mills's books because they're really nice naked covers. Like, just look how beautiful that is. It's silver foiled, and eventually I'd like to get to Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I have so many books by Brandon Sanderson that I have not even attempted to start yet, mostly because I've been in a contemporary mood, I feel like, at the latter half of this year, but I think that's pretty much the only things of note. Okay, so this is shelf 9, and this is where I feel like the colors get kind of fun again. Transition from light blue to purple. On this shelf, I have not read Muse of Nightmares. I'm still on Strange the Dreamer, as I said previously. I've also read The Case for Jamie. Again, I've read this entire series so far, up until the 4th book, because it's not out yet. Really, really love these books. They're just fun. A little annoyed that they picked, like, purple with light purple as the text, but whatever. Hoping to get to Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake sometime in the near future, because I'm just in a contemporary mood lately, and I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I read another Ashley Herring Blake book, How to Make a Wish. I got it from my library, absolutely fell in love with it, so I'm assuming this is going to be even better than that, so excited to get to that soon. This book, I'm obsessed with this spine. This is Heretics Anonymous by Amy Henry, Ruined by Amy Tintera. I haven't gotten to this one, but this is one that I feel like I should pick up soon because it's one of those fantasies that seems very like low commitment and low involvement. So we love that. And then Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. I actually bought this one because I'm doing a series on my channel called Trash Back Friday, which I have kind of neglected lately, but I'm trying to go back and read 2000s books that were paranormal or, I don't know, just kind of have a bad history, and we're going to revisit them and see if they still hold up today and if we're a little too harsh on books that were kind of made a few years ago. So really excited to get to this one again and reread it. So I have read this one as well. So that is this shelf. So this is shelf 10, and I have a lot to say about this shelf. So the first book that we have is Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. I really liked Renee Ahdieh's other series, and I know a lot of people didn't like this book in this series. I've been a little scared to pick it up, if I'm being completely honest, but I'm hoping to pick it up sometime soonish. It's been on my shelf far too long. I also have the Throne of Glass Collector's Edition. Ooh, This was 100% not worth $24. It actually came damaged. You live and you learn. I got this actually for the Time Turner Book Club, and it actually didn't even come in time, so that's lovely. Thanks, Book Depository, for that. Don't necessarily love Sarah J. Maas books, but that one's really, really pretty. This is another hidden gem. Absolutely obsessed with this book. There's actually a movie already out. If you have seen End of the Fucking World and you really liked the main character in that, the guy plays the titular, I don't know how to say that fucking word, character in Freak Show by James St. James. James St. James is a drag personality, if you will, and I just remember this book absolutely speaking to me when I was in middle school and high school, and I just fell in love with it. If you're looking for something a little bit different, I'm not sure if it would hold up today, but I just love this book. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, which I still haven't fucking read because I have a problem. I'm like scared to read it because I know I'm going to enjoy it, but I also know it's going to break my heart, so I just haven't gotten to it yet. Winger and Standoff by Andrew Smith. Read Winger, and I haven't read Standoff yet. These are such fun contemporaries. These are kind of what got me into contemporaries back in high school. About a rugby team, I believe. I have Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I'm gonna hopefully get to this sometime in 2019 since I've already read Illuminae. And then, of course, Leon the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. I really liked this book. I'm pretty sure I give it 5 stars. I know a lot of people don't like Leah because they find her like problematic. Totally understand it, but I liked it, and I felt her a very relatable character even though she made some shitty choices. So anyway, that's this shelf. I don't want to make any bold claims, but I think this might be my my favorite shelf of all of my shelves. I just like how crisp it looks. I like that my Edward and Bella wedding Funkos are on this shelf, and there's just so many great books on this shelf in general. Wow, surprise, surprise, we have The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is definitely my favorite book of 2018. I fucking love it. It's absolutely gorgeous as well with the detailing in gold. I know a lot of people have the black edition, which is fun, but I'm a whore for the white edition. It's just stunning. I also have A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab and A Gathering of Shadows on this shelf. If I'm being honest, I don't know if I'll ever get to these. I did not like A Darker Shade of Magic. Tried to read A Gathering of Shadows and didn't like that. So I don't know. I feel weird giving these away, being hardbacks that cost me quite a bit of money, but I'm probably just gonna have to get rid of them. Other books on this shelf of note are Uprooted by Naomi Novik. This is a book that a lot of people really enjoyed this year, this one and Spinning Silver, so these are kind of higher on my priority list. I'd say like mid. Two fantasies on here, Roar by Cora McCormick and Hunted by Megan Spooner. I believe her name is Megan. I don't know. I'll move my Funkos for a second to show you guys the rest of this shelf. I have The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. That's also low on my priority list because not very many people like it. The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis is a book that I'd like to get to soon. We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. I enjoy E. Lockhart a lot, so I'm hoping to get to this one soonish as well. Mostly because it's short and I feel like, hey, Goodreads challenge, like hook it the fuck up. And then there's Subsidio by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Okay, so for the 12th shelf, this is a very gray shelf, and I've actually read one whole book on this shelf. So the book that I've read is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. This is a book that I read this year. I think I gave it 5 stars. Don't want to say that I enjoyed it more than Radio Silence, but I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than Radio Silence. I've started Landline by Rainbow Rowell recently. It's pretty good. My beautiful UK hardcover edition of Daughter of Smoke and Bow by Laini Taylor. I just nut every time I look at it. It's so beautiful. It's kind of like a dusty gray navy with silver embossing, and it's just stunning. I also have some contemporaries on the end here. The Only Thing Worse Than Me Is You by Lily Anderson, Foolish Hearts by Emma Mills. I'll pull out Foolish Hearts for you because of course it's going to be beautiful. Emma Mills' naked books are always beautiful. So okay, so this is shelf 13, and I love this shelf for a lot of reasons, mostly because it's like just fucking fun with the black and the red. I've read a fair amount of books on this shelf, and by fair, I mean 2. I've read Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. This is the one with the black sprayed edges. Didn't love Six of Crows. If you know anything about me, I actually ended up giving away my copy of Six of Crows, and then I ended up buying another one because I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'll read it again, see if I hate Kaz Brecker any less. I've also read, actually no, I haven't actually read Clockwork Princess. I've read the first 2 books in this series. I'm actually reading Clockwork Angel right now. I'd like to get to the entire Infernal Devices series before I pick up Queen of Air and Darkness, but we'll see if that happens because I don't like the Infernal Devices series. I think it's overrated, and I don't fucking like Gem. I'm just going to be real. Heartless by Marissa Meyer is a really, really beautiful book. Don't really care to read it, and honestly, I'll probably end up getting rid of this one fairly soon because it's just not high on my priority list, and I don't love Marissa Meyer's books very much. A Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Cluess. I have gotten about halfway through with this, and I really like it. It's like historical-esque fantasy. I also have Strange Grace by Tessa Gratton. This is a book that I am so excited to read. It's got a polyamorous relationship. If you didn't know, I'm writing a project type thing with a polyamorous relationship, so I'd like to see how it's done in Strange Grace because I've heard great things. Vengeful by V.E. Schwab. Read Vicious and didn't love it. Just objectively, I thought it was kind of bland. And then this one is, again, super, super high on my priority list. This is Not Even Bones by Rebecca Schaefer. I've heard it's like Dexter, but with monsters. It just seems like a lot of fun, and she's a debut author, so this is kind of a transitionary shelf for me. It's got both red foil on the cover and then copper on the cover. On this shelf, I have only read City of Glass by Cassandra Clare. It's a book that I fucking love. I don't remember if I've read City of Lost Souls or not. I haven't read the last 2 in the Mortal Instrument series. Nothing on the shelf is super high priority for me. The Name of the Wind I'll get to eventually, I'm sure, but that's some fantasy if I ever saw it, so. Okay, so this is shelf 15, another dark shelf. I've read His Fair Assassin, both of these books. I've read all 3 books in the His Fair Assassin series. So good, so underrated. I have not read Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young yet. This is on my list for December or January. I actually pulled it before this video. That's why the shelf looks a little wonky. I think there's supposed to be more books on the shelf anyway. I just don't know where they are, if I'm being completely real with you, Chief. I also have Scythe on this shelf by Neil Schusterman, another book that I just really enjoyed this year. I thought it was really excellent. I actually don't even know if I've read it this year. It's been a long fucking year. So this is shelf 16, and it's a shelf with black books, gold foil. You know it's going to be fantasy oriented. Circe by Madeline Miller, Circe, I guess. I haven't gotten to this book yet. I know everybody loves it. I tried to read the first few pages and I was like automatically depressed. Just wasn't a great time to read it for me. So I've also read A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is the special edition. I don't regret spending money on it, but I definitely am not pleased with myself. I also have An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, which I read this year. I also have One Dark Throne by Kendar Blake. I read Three Dark Crowns this year. Really enjoyed it. The Wicker King by Kay Ingram. I'm really excited to read this one as a part of Melanie from L to the Any, and I believe Crowns and Quills, Amy. They're starting a book club, and this is the first book for January, so I'm really excited to actually get to this one. I think it's going to hold me accountable. Okay, so now we are on the ground now. My ass is to the grass. This shelf is just more of the same bullshit. Who's surprised? We have A Career of Evil and The Silkworm by Robert Galbraith, both J.K. Rowling books. I've read Three Dark Crowns, have not read Two Dark Reigns. Tower of Dawn by S.J. Maas. That's one that I'm actually kind of excited to read, and that's kind of the only thing getting me through the idea of rereading the whole Throne of Glass series. I have Gathering Darkness by Morgan Rhodes. This is one of my favorite fantasy series, and I've only read the first book. I'm trying to read the second one in December because I just feel like it's a kind of accessible fantasy that I really enjoy. And then this is super high priority, but I'm going to be reading it as a part of my book club, and it's The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I think we're reading this one in either like February or March. If you want to read this with us, if you haven't before, you want to reread it, there'll be information about that on my Twitter. Yeehaw. Apologies for this being a little bit off kilter. I'm having to hold this because my tripod is not cooperating, but I have Layer of Dreams by Libba Bray. Other books on this shelf, The Wicked Deep, which I got the first printing, which has the absolutely gorgeous stars and crescent moon on it, by Shay Earnshaw. I have not read this book. It was high on my priority list, I feel like back in October, never got to it, and while I'm excited about it, I feel like Strange Grace has kind of usurped the excitement that I had for The Wicked Deep, so I'm not sure if that's something that's going to be gotten to anytime soon. Also read Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. This is a really good book. Queen of Shadows, I've read, don't really want to get into it. Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This one I will show you simply because all of the John Green books that I have are uniquely signed. They don't just have John Green's signature, they also have something fun. So this one has Don't Forget to Be Awesome. So this is another primarily fantasy-filled shelf. So we have A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. I do like the Court of Thorns and Roses series as just kind of a guilty pleasure, but really don't like her other series. I also have The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I know I talked about having fun signatures, and I actually do have Hank's signature as well on here, which I'm just excited about because I love both of them. They're both fun. I also have The Black Witch by Laurie Forrest, which I feel like had a lot of controversy surrounding it when it came out on Goodreads about it being racist and just problematic in general. This is one that a lot of people ended up saying is actually really good and that people were just misreading it. So I'd like to do a video review on this at some point and kind of let you guys know my opinions and my thoughts on it. So this is the last shelf on this row. I have this special edition of Nevernight by Jay Kristoff with this kind of debossed black raven or crow or whatever fucking bird this is on the front. It is shiny and beautiful, and there is no author name or title of the book on the cover. So as a naked book, I just think it's really freaking cool. I also have The Evolution of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin, I believe. And this is just a book I brought from home. I read the first two books back in the day and really enjoyed them. I also have The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. This is the only book of Holly Black's that I have not read. I also have this really cool copy of The Diviners by Libba Bray. This is a naked hardcover, and it's just really freaking cool. And then I have Hero by Perry Moore, which my lovely friend Vanessa got for me for my birthday. Okay, so sorry for any shakiness and for no like fingers in frame for these ones. These are my bottom two shelves. This is mostly just a dumping ground for books that didn't really fit on any of the other shelves. These are my green and blue foiled spines for my black books. Clockwork Prince, City of Ashes, Lord of Shadows, Lady Midnight, Cassandra Clare books. I know, shocking. I also have Nimona on this shelf over here, if you can see that on your right. Everybody says that Nimona is such a fun graphic novel, so I'm hoping to get to that one pretty soon. I've been on such a graphic novel kick lately. That's pretty much it for this bottom shelf. And then here are some of the books that I received from Christmas from some of my bookish friends. We tried to normalize wish lists this year, so I sent out a ton of books to my bookish friends, and I got quite a few in return. So I'm just going to briefly go through the books that I have here. I have The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. I have Everlist by Sarah Holland. Summer of Salt by Katrina Leno. More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. Far From the Tree by Robin Benway. It's Not Like It's a Secret by Misa Sugira. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. And Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. I don't know where I'm going to put these. I do have room on some shelves down here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what I should prioritize higher than I have already. But until next time.